Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and we made it to Friday! Woo woo! So I love my schedule and it might be changing, which is unfortunate. But our schedule here is not changing. I'm talking about my day job. So I want to welcome you guys all to another Free Play Friday, and we are talking about UTEE today. And the last time I did a UTEE video, I got a message from a subscriber that said, you know, you really should have said what UTEE is right from the beginning. And she's right. I should have said what it was right from the beginning. So let's talk about that for just a second while people are coming in. UTEE, UTEE, is ultra thick embossing enamel. And here's a jar of it that I have right in my hand. It says that it is a dimensional medium for paper, fiber, and decorative arts. Basically what this is a heavier duty, large grain, like think of it as like heavy salt. Large grain embossing powder. So if you have embossing powders, this is essentially the same stuff but just bigger, more in bulk. You can get them maybe still in colors. I have a few in colors. This one happens to be bronze. Otherwise, there's ways to color it and use the melting pot. But today we're talking about UTEE and how to use this without the melting pot. They have discontinued the melting pot, but you can obviously still get this, what they call UTEE. Some people call it UT. Some people call it UTEE. I just happen to call it UTEE. So this is what we're using today. I have mine poured into a container, so don't get confused. When I'm using this, I'm using this. Hey guys, so we've got Susan Baker here today and Penny Ratcliffe. So you want to give them lots of love because they are our moderators and we're always happy to see them. I have this container marked here UTEE, so if you don't get confused, I'm going to be using mostly UTEE here, but I do have a box of supplies off to my right that we'll be using. We'll be creating things such as this. I'll also be using some triple thick glaze, which I think I've talked about before. We'll be making something similar to this. They always turn out different, so just know this is like a one-of-a-kind. You're never going to get anything exactly the same as you did the first time or whenever. I really like the look of these. This is really cool. So we're going to be doing a bunch of this kind of stuff, and we're just going to be exploring and playing together. So basically it is a tutorial. If you've never seen this before, I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to show you everything and how it's done. And it's also an exploration. So if you've never been to my channel, that's what Free Play Friday is all about. So I'm glad you're here. The best thing you can do is hit that subscribe button and then hit the little bell that comes up there so that you're notified anytime we go live or have a video on here. And join us on Quality Crafts on Facebook. The reason why I'm asking you to join on Facebook is not to get you lured in for anything like that. There's no commitment, there's no drama. It's just a group that has a lot of inspiration, a lot of fun. Things are going on there, but like I said, you're not obligated to do anything in that group. However, if I'm going to cancel a video or change a video or add a video or do anything like that regarding our community, that is where I'm going to post it. So you're going to be a little bit lost if you're not in that community. So we welcome you, and we are inviting you to join. Hopefully either Penny or Susan will put out some links for that so you know how to get there pretty easily and you won't have to hunt for it. Anytime you're confused about Quality Crafts, because my channel is called Jen Evers, but anytime you're confused, go to Quality Crafts, think Quality Crafts, which is why I wear my koala, and go to qualitycrafts.com. There you can get linked to the Amazon links we have, to our blog, the store is there, and anything else that you're looking for, you should be able to be linked to there. So hello to Barbara. Let me go back and see who we've got. Some people here. Huntress Habits, Sandy Swanson, Sharon Schaefer, Debbie Evans. Hello, welcome. Let's see who else. Who am I missing? Barbara Eastock. All right, well, we're going to have more people coming in as we go. So I'm going to be using the UTEE, and I think I'm going to start out with a technique. Now, the first thing you're going to want to know is how do you melt this without the melting pot? And it's basically the same as I said before as embossing powder. However, because this is so thick and it's coarse like salt, you don't want to pull out your heavy-duty embossing gun and blow this stuff all over town. So I'm going to show you a technique of embossing this from the underside first to get it partially melted and then on the top. So that is kind of the technique I used for this. And that's what we're going to use first. So I have a piece of paper here. And I think instead of cutting out something small, I'm just going to show you on here. And I'm going to take off this sweater because already I'm getting warm. It was almost 90 degrees out today. So I'm in a tank top. It was hot. So I'm going to start with some Versamark, which it's just basically clear ink that's sticky. You can see it makes my finger shiny. And right in this corner here, I'm just going to go ahead and put some of that on there. Should be able to see it shine there. You should be able to see the rectangle. That's where it's going to sit. And then I am going to get it. You know what? I don't have a spoon in this one. I'm just going to use this. I'm just going to put this on top and just give it a little tap so that it'll roll down the paper there and stick to all of that sticky clear ink that we just put on there. A little bit more just to make sure I have full coverage. So here are two different ways to do this. Hopefully you can see there. Now if I go ahead and I take my regular heat gun like this, and I turn this on and I put it on there, half or a third of this is going to just blow all over town, and you're going to have big bald spots, and it's just going to be a mess, and you're going to have to clean all that up. So I know a couple of you were like, oh darn it, Jen, I didn't want to have to buy that other heat gun, but it's worth it for something like this. So now you can use this heat gun, the Heat It Craft tool by Ranger. This blows a little bit lighter. It's not as, it doesn't go as forceful. It's quieter. It just takes a little bit longer. I am going to do it with this one right away. And I want you to see how long it takes. And then I'm going to show you how you can make it go faster. So the first thing we're going to do is this one, we're going to take our time. So I'm going to start from quite a ways above, probably at least 12 inches, and start getting this heated up. I'm going to drop it down several inches, as long as I don't see it blowing around. If I see it blowing around, I'm going to lift it back up. But so far, some of the granules are already melting. They're getting hot, they're turning shiny. And there it's starting to turn. So as soon as they turn shiny, I'm going to move on to another little spot, and I'm just going to kind of chase that with the heat. I'm not going to rock my blower all over the place like this. I'm just going to chase that spot until I see it all turn shiny. Alright, sometimes people try to do that. Do you see that shiny layer over the top thing? But it looks pitted, right? We're going to do another layer on there so that we can get the whole thing looking flat and smooth. The more you put on, the smoother it's going to be. Even regular embossing powder will do that pitting. I have some people that say, well, it's not working out for me. It's not making the shiny. You have to put this, lean it in a way so that you can see it turning shiny, like I just told you. And then once it turns shiny, keep moving on. If you keep your heat source on that for a long period of time and it turns shiny, it's eventually going to turn back to dull, because what's going to happen is that's going to be absorbed by the paper and you're going to have no shiny at all. So when you're doing things like that and you're using like a regular embossing powder as well, you have to be careful to watch for that shine to turn over and then stop, or move on and stop when the project gets to that point. If I were to have, while that was still really hot, put some more of this embossing powder on it, the UTEE, then I could have just kept heating it and it would have kept melting, because this will stay warm for some period of time. It's cool right now. because I only have one thin layer of paper here. So it's gonna dry and cool pretty quickly. But I want to add another one. So since it's not still hot, make sure it's not still hot when you do this. We're gonna go right back over it again with Versamark. Put some of that sticky stuff right over the top and do this step again. You can also do this over a piece of folded paper if you want to do that to get it back in your container. Or just have yourself a larger container. I just so happen to have had this container on hand, so this is the one I grabbed. Always put a cover back on. You can even latch it so you don't have accidental mistakes, because that could be a real mess to clean up. So now you should be able to see there's another layer of coarse UTEE on the top of there. See if I can get the camera to pick that up a little bit better. Sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's stubborn. It seems to be stubborn today. Anyhow, you know it's there, so I'm going to just take that same gun and we're going to finish this off. I'm going to start out from about 12 inches up and then I'm going to go down as we go. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I want you to see, some people are saying, well, this gun does not emboss. And I think it's just because maybe there wasn't enough patience there, or there maybe wasn't something that you understood as a beginner. So I wanted you to see real time how long this actually takes. It's already starting to become shiny. So I'm going to keep it in that spot and I'm going to wait for that to turn into a puddle, basically a shiny puddle, and then I'm going to follow that with the heat all the way across. Okay, and now you can see that most of the pitting is gone. You can actually hold your paper to one side, and if you have a thick enough UTEE on there, you can actually blow it and move it around. I think you probably would have to have maybe a third layer to do that, because I don't see it moving very much. But you can see where most of the pitting is gone and it's getting really thick and really smooth. This is a super quiet one, that's true. I need a drink. Cheers, guys. All right, the other thing that I wanted to show you, let me see how hot this is. It's still warm, but it's not hot. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on here. Now, what if you don't have this nice, real quiet one? You can still do the same thing with your regular heat gun. You can start way up high and come down. But it's going to be it's going to take a lot longer. You're going to have to be way higher, and you're going to notice there's still going to be a little bit of blowing. So if you only have this heat gun, I want to show you how to pull this off. And I mentioned it in the beginning, it's not really a secret. It's basically just heat from underneath. Heating from underneath will give you the ability to get that done without blowing all this stuff around. So I'm going to put that extra layer on the top of there. I'm going to cover this up because I don't want it to melt or get blown around. And I'm going to use this louder one. Now you're going to notice how much louder this one and how much tougher it sounds. So I'm going to put it underneath and I'm going to melt it from there. I'm hoping that the camera will pick this up better. Let me turn the light down a little bit. There we go. I want you to be able to see it, how it melts from underneath. Don't get so close to the paper that you're burning your paper, because this does get really, really hot. Brandon Yance wants to know, is there a difference between a heat gun and an embossing gun? In my opinion, they're the same thing. It just depends on how much power you want and how much heat you want to give out. There is a difference though. So like this one is super powerful and blows really, really hard and really, really hot. This one is also called a heat gun. It's a lot quieter, Here's the difference. Quiet and gentle. Loud and rough. There's even paper on my wall that's jittering around. Alright, so there's not really that much of a difference. Although there are like hardcore heat guns that you can use for other purposes, and like building, contracting, that kind of thing. But I only stick with the 2 crafting kind. So let's go ahead and bring this back up. I want you to be able to see that melting, and I'm going to get the gun underneath. It's hard for me to show you both, so we'll just try to keep your eye on the granules. There it goes. Now look how shiny and flat that is. And I'm doing it on 110 pound exact index Neenah cardstock. And so when you're seeing that kind of gray in the background, it's actually going through the whole thing. Do you see the back? It's wetting through the paper basically, because it's so thick. But check that out. Smooth and shiny like an ice skating rink now. We've got 3 layers on there. Tracy Myers, I think I'm going to have you come over to my house and teach some of my videos, girlfriend. Alrighty. So I wanted to show you guys that as step 1, so you could see you don't need first of all, you don't need the melting pot. Second of all, you can use your 2 different heat guns and 2 different styles of melting it depending on what you have. So I want to... Now at this point, where did I put my little puncheroo? There it is. Now I'm going to punch one. I'm going to do a 3-layer one. And I'm going to glue these together. So tonight is a Friday free play, but it's also a Friday pre-sale night because tomorrow's a big online crafty garage sale. So if you're a Patreon, I should say if you're on Patreon and you are a patron of mine, right, Tracy? If you live closer, you could come over here and help me. That'd be awesome. You never have too much help. You would be able to do the pre-sale tonight. It's too late now because I won't have time between this one and the next video to add you in. But if you want to get in on the pre-sales, Patreon is the way to go. And that way you get to see things that are coming in before anyone else. Now, I will not sell out of anything during a pre-sale because I don't want to rob anybody in the general group, any of my subscribers, of a chance to get something that I have. But they will be the first to see it. So now I've got 3 layers here. It's almost like a thin chipboard. So this way you won't see that leaking through the bottom, hopefully, and we're going to turn it into something that looks similar to this. So basically what I did was I used it to add all kinds of stuff that I had. This flat, shiny stuff, of course, is mica. It's not ground mica, it's flaked mica. And then I've got some green glitter, and then I've got some other iridescent glitter that I threw in there. You can do a pattern under here, pattern paper. You can do white, you can do black. You can add any color of any kind of thing that you want. It doesn't matter what you add, but you have to have enough UTEE on there to get it to fill in. You live out in the country? Tracy Myers, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Thanks, Kathy. She's like, yay, can't wait for the Patreon pre-sale. Woo woo. Alright, I'm going to use my tweezers for this. If you're looking for a lot of the stuff that I use during my videos, I also leave a link list to them below. And I do affiliate with Amazon. So, blow you a kiss to those of you guys who use my Amazon links. I really appreciate that. Alright, so we've got that all shined up here. And we're going to start adding our layers to this. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my little gun. Farmville, but you don't have a farm. I get that. I could also take the faster heater upper, I'll call it, do this from the underneath. Maybe we'll do that. See what we can do with our 3 layers. Ready? Here's one other little trick. When it starts melting, you can flip. White was a bad choice. There it is. When it starts melting, you can flip it and go from the top. And then as long as you're paying attention to where your UTEE is, you can heat this so the whole thing is hot and then dip it back in. And that way you don't have to use the ink again, but you have to be pretty quick. You can see that all the granules on there again. So now I'm gonna have to start again either with the other one, the little one, or the bigger one. I'm gonna cover this up so I don't blow it all over. Eventually I won't be able to tip it all that way to make sure that you see the glossy parts, because it'll start flowing like a little hot river of lava down to one side, and I don't want to do that. I do want to make sure the whole thing is hot though, because I'm going for a 3rd layer. Ooh, and I made it, it's still hot. I'm just gonna move this over because I don't want it to fall off of my little tweezers here. And now at this point, when you've got a couple of layers, you want to get ready what you're going to put in it. So I've got some of these magic scraps. I'm going to go for probably some iridescent, I don't know, maybe gold. We'll see what we got. I've got the mica flakes here. You can buy these in packs of like 3. I think they come in like 3 things of different kind of stuff that comes with it. I can't remember who sells that. And I'm going to get some different glitter because I don't want green this time. So let's get out the glitter stash. And, oh wow, we got tons of glitter in here. Let's try this stuff. This blue is pretty. Maybe we could do blue and gold. Would that look cool? Let's try that. The this is where I'm going to pull out my piece of paper so I can get stuff back in if I want. If I don't use a lot, I'm not going to dump it back in. Oh, I got somebody who yelled, do purple. Do I have a good... Oh, I have a deep purple. All right, we'll add some purple too. Blue, purple, and gold. Here we go. I'm going to open this up because while it's still hot, you want it to get in there. And I'm going to do the sprinkle top like this. If you want to open up the side that pours and then dump it back in, you can. But I think if I just do the sprinkle part, I can just dump it out because I've had these glitters for years. And I still have a ton of them, so it's not a problem. Here we go. That is just about getting there. Starting to get really glossy and smooth. Susan Baker is asking for thumbs up, guys, so if you haven't had a chance to do so, now would be a great time. So while this is all hot, we're going to sprinkle in some of the purple. Oh, jeepers, look at that deep purple. Tap some off, look at that. I'm going to start from way up above. Oh, hold on a second. Before we do any more, I'm going to tap this into the garbage so we don't have it blow all over the place. Cindy's over there. She's like, yep. Okay. Here we go. We're going to heat it up again. And you know what? I'm going to show you with the other one too. This might make it a little bit quicker. If I go from underneath, then I don't have to worry about blowing everything downwards. While that's hot, let's see if we can get some of this blue to stick. If you have one of those spatula things, I'm going to grab the spatula. Oh, my spatula's gone. Where did it go? You could take something that is going to, you know, come back off of there and push it down into the hot UTEE. There, I've got a hole. There, I've got a spot right there I can fill in, and then tap off the excess. You can tell by looking that there's not a whole lot falling off of there, but you can also rub your finger over the top too, just to make sure. If you're a lover of glitter like I know Lori is, she will want to make sure that this is not all going to fall off on her project. So if I lift this up, you'll see that the blue and the purple is kind of combining there. That looks really cool. So you could, when you heat from underneath or on top and you reheat it, it seals in what's on there. Okay? Sorry, Susan, I was out of frame for a little bit. So that will set it in as well. But if you're putting on some really thick layers, you're going to want something to push it in just a little bit. Okay? Now, you can also go over the top of this again with another layer and stick some more stuff on. So I'm going to do that since we've got plenty of time. I'm going to get out my Versamark. And if you're fussy about what your Versamark looks like, which I'm not, you know, because you might get a little glitter or something in there, then just pick an old Versamark that you can get nasty, because this one, I don't care. I'm going to get stuff on it. Do you see how the glitter came on it? That's just going to happen. You can also take a wet wipe and just go right over the top of it too and get rid of that. Maybe not all the glitter, because, you know, glitter lasts forever. Let's put another layer on there. Because I want to stick some of that iridescent over the top of it. Let me get that ready. Penny says, hey, to you.
Hello.
Don't burn yourself. I'm just going to tap this in a little bit. It's very, very easy to burn yourself with this stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it and then say, I learned that on Jen Ever's channel. Look at that. So you can see how you could create all kinds of unique stuff, especially if you had like patterned paper underneath there, you added more rainbow glitters, that kind of stuff. So anytime you heat it up, it's just going to kind of suck in whatever's on top of there too. So you could always just run your finger over the top and knock off the stuff that you think isn't going to set. If you want it to set more, you can reheat it from underneath and then give it a nice tap. If you have one of these spatulas that is heat safe, it's better to take one of those and tap that on there. I like this one better than the first one I made. Here's the other one, because I didn't cover up as much of the white. See the difference? Yeah, that one's just a lot prettier. Cool beans. All right. I want to get a chance to show you some of the stuff that Tracy was talking about too. Ooh, Christmas ornaments. Good idea. All right, cover all the flyaway stuff. Put all your covers on so you don't end up with a mess. I do want to show you something though. What if I spill like this glitter and stuff on there? Like, oops, there it all just went on my mat. I have this really cool tool that some of you guys have seen. It's my little purple glitter eater. And if I roll over that, it's going to pick up the glitter and the other stuff for me. It's kind of full right now, so I'm going to knock it off into the garbage. Basically what you want to do is you want to run it under some cool running water, warm running water, whatever you have, and let it get sticky again, and then come back. And what I do is I use a flour sack towel to just dry it off, and then I come back in and pick up the rest. It is so much fun. I just like using it. I'm going to show you what it looks like after I'm trying to read some of the comments too, because I'm missing a lot of the storylines here. I'm going to wipe it off with a wet wipe for now, so you guys can see. You can wipe this stuff off and then it gets sticky again. I'm sure you've seen some of these in other places as well. Oh yeah, snowflakes for sure. And see all the stuff it's picking up? Look at that, a clean mat. And I can chase all those little bits that ran around. Fun stuff. Alright, let me just get rid of that little guy. Here's the one that I showed originally, and this was in the thumbnail. And this is what Tracy was talking about, where you could stamp it. I used gold in here. You can use regular, just Versamark. You can use, you know, play around with it, because I was wondering if the gold would stay. But what I did notice is that I had to put a layer of triple thick, which looks like this. How are we doing for time? Oh, we got plenty of time. I had to put a little layer of triple thick, which is this stuff. I'll show what it looks like on the inside too. It's just a really thick, heavy glue, almost like Mod Podge, only it's more clear. It's not quite as white and milky like a regular glue. And I sealed in the gold, because once I finished this project and I put the gold on there and I ran my finger in the cracks like this, and you can't see it, and you can't see it now. Oops, because I put the triple thick over the top. All of the gold came off on my finger, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I want. So if you want it to stay, you're gonna have to put something in there to keep that on. Now if you use Stays On, that'll obviously stay, because that's a permanent ink, but this stuff didn't, because it was gold. I'm gonna make one of these with you guys. Hi Peggy, who else did I miss that sneaked in? You totally can use Versamark. Any kind of ink will give you a release too. Is there a way for you to make your own UTEE? Connie, I have no idea. That'd be like exactly the same as, can you make your own embossing powder? I don't know. I don't know what it's made out of to actually be able to think about that. So what I'm going to use for this one to get those fun colors in the background, you see that? Are these, and I have Pearl X. And I used these colors because I wanted kind of a fall look, so I had like purple and green. You can use whatever colors you want, it doesn't matter. I want to use a different color. I've got this set right here. And I'm thinking it would be really nice to do kind of a blue, like that. Just depends on what you're going to press into it. Blue, kind of a reddish, pinkish, then maybe the green. Put those three together. I've got some gold and yellow and bronze and that kind of stuff. The colors are on the top. They're listed. You can still get these too. So there's Aztec Gold. Let me just see if I can get that up a little bit clearer. You guys can look at it. Those are the colors that come in this set. It's series number 2. There we go. Aztec Gold, Antique Copper, Antique Silver, Duo Green Yellow, Bright Yellow, Flamingo Pink, Spring Green, Turquoise, True Blue, Misty Lavender, Blue Russet. Why is that called Blue Russet? It looks like fuchsia. And Sparkling Copper. Anyway, if you're looking for that, that's that. You're going to want a nice light brush to brush these on, and these make a horrible mess, so make sure that you've got a piece of paper to go underneath that, because it's a powder. It's just going to blow everywhere. It's very light. It's kind of like using Brusho. If you've never seen Brusho, type in Jen Evers' Brusho tutorial. You'll be able to see what that looks like. Alright, I do have squares already cut here. And this one is a little bit curved, as you can see. If you're going to glue this to a project, use some heavy-duty glue and then glue it down, and it'll go flat. Hello, Joyce Fullerton from Fredericksburg, VA. You don't have to glue these together, but I'm going to. I want it just a little bit thicker. Try to put your questions that you have all in capital letters so I don't miss them. I feel like I might have missed a few things people said or things people wanted to know. We have about 20 minutes left, and right after this we have a pre-sale for the patrons in their private group. So don't come back here on the Jen Evers channel because you won't see it. You have to go to our private group, because it's not open to the public until tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the sale for everybody, Saturday the 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't miss it. Bring your friends. There's always something different every time we do a sale. We do them about twice a month. And I usually set that out for like a post in the group, the Quality Crafts group on Facebook. So join us there. No commitment required, no obligation, no drama. Just join us so that you can find out what's going on when. All right, the reason why I'm doing this in black is because if you look up some other videos that do this, a lot of people take a chipboard piece or paper or whatever and they paint it with acrylic paint and then they have to sit and let it dry, or they spray it with something and then they have to let it dry, or what else did they use? Some kind of an ink. Well, I figured, well, let's just use black paper. That way we don't have to wait for anything to dry and it's already black. The whole point is that it's black because you want that Pearlex to shine and show up on there. Now I'm not going to use gold, so we're not going to see this as prevalently as we normally would, but I want to try something out, and I love trying new things with you guys, so it's totally fun. So we're going to Versamark this up, and I still have some of that purple glitter on there. Here, let me show you how we can wipe that off. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and wipe that off. I'm not going to get all of it. Like I said, glitter can last for days, but most of it. See? Not too bad. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get that ink all over this one. I'll use my paper because I don't want it to actually go on my mat. This is a really cool, fun one. If we don't get to the third one, that's okay. We can either do another series on this, or I can do it in another video. Just never know how much time, what you're going to get to when you're playing around and having fun on a Free Play Friday. I like that Tracy mentioned that she used layers of another, just a regular embossing powder. You don't need UTEE to pull these off. She's right. You can totally use regular embossing powders. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to put on several layers. I'm going to try to get this put on rather quickly so we don't run out of time to show the whole thing. Oh, I just made a complete mess. And I don't think that I had this fully heated enough. Nope. So I want you to take a look at that. See the part that was still hot that maintained the sticky? But the rest cooled really, really fast and I spilled my powder all over. So I'm going to get rid of that really quick. It happens. Quite a lot though. I don't think my little purple guy is going to be able to keep up with that. But we're going to give it a shot. If you have a very thin paper that you're working with, it will dry that, it will cool and dry that fast. Do you want to grab on the other side, you know where I rolled that other, what do you call it? Yeah. Behind there should be a little dustpan and broom.
Okay.
Do you see anything like that over there? Or it might be out. Yeah?
A big dustpan, or a big broom.
A big broom?
No, that's not it.
I'm going to use my paintbrush then. That's okay. I'm going to use a piece of paper and my paintbrush, and I'm going to toss this all over to the side here. Yeah, if you have a bigger dustpan and broom, that would work too. I'm going to use my purple guy to pick up all the little flakes that I missed. I love having this paintbrush on hand for things like this. There we go. Saved most of it. We'll have to heat this up again. Oh, purple guy. A little more time with my purple guy to pick up the little pieces that we got. Nice. Where's my purple guy thing? Here we go. I'll rinse that under some water a little time later. Alright, if you've got problems like me, trying to keep it hot, or, you know, it's just not working out for you, let it cool a little bit. We're going to do that right now. Lori Wisniewski Wanger in all caps says, Mom says hello, hug, and kiss too.
Hi, Mom. Hope you're enjoying your pedicure.
Are you guys out getting pedicures? That's awesome. I could use one. Anyway, go ahead and just use your Versamark. Where's my paper again? Did I toss it out? Let's use this one. Use your Versamark and just start like this. And then add your next layer. No biggie. Oop, almost knocked her over again. I'm going to shut it this time. said, Girls' Day. I'm gonna let this cool and I'm gonna do one more layer. It's gotten really quiet in here. What's everybody gonna do with their weekend? Do we have anybody that lives near where that hurricane is coming through, or know of anybody that does? Do you know of anybody that is near that? No, neither do I. There might be some in our group that I'm not aware of. I hope that nobody that you know is in harm's way. Chuck told me tonight that a lot of people did not evacuate, and now they have to send people in to help them evacuate because they can't live there. Kathy said, garage sale at Jen's. Woo! I'll be there too. Church on Sunday. I'll be packing packages and going to another garage sale. Whew. Oh boy, we do have some people that are in. Well, I knew some of Penny's family was in it. 90% of her family lives in Myrtle Beach. But they moved, right? They got out of harm's way, I think you said. We have we have garage sales all across Kansas on Highway 36. It's safer to stay home and craft. People are crazy. Sandy Swanson, you have friends and family right in it. Are they safe or are they evacuating? We're almost out of time, but we are going to finish this. You can see that there's already glitter in there from some of my glitter getting around. That's really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. They did leave. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm going to put some Versamark on here because I want this powder to stay put before I have a chance to reheat it so it sinks in and doesn't come off. Hi, Sandy Marino. And my little paintbrush. There it is. Nope, that's my gluer. Some have evacuated and a few are still there but safe. Oh, good. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of the blue. And I'm going to focus a bunch of the pink or red in the middle because I'm going to try to stamp in here a funky little rose type stamp. I'm going to show it to you in just a second here. we get some of this tapped on here. Probably are able to see some of that already. Oh, that's going to go in the middle. That's not very bright blue. I'm just going to leave that off. Brenda Gentry! Hello, hello! So this I want... You could put as much or as little of this stuff on here as you want. It doesn't really matter. I want this all heavy as I can in the middle, so when I stamp that other image, that maybe we'll get a little black coming through and be able to see it pretty clearly. Then I'm going to just smash around the edges to make it look a little bit more organic, meaning like I didn't purposely put it all there. And it'll move a little bit around a little bit as that stuff moves, the UTEE. So here's what we have so far, and it's not going to look like that when it's completely done. We're going to reheat it so that it all melts. This stuff's going to sink right into the UTEE so it stays on there, so you don't have to put anything on the top of it to make it stay. And it shouldn't wipe off. And then we're going to stamp this stamp. This is an Inkadinka-Doo stamp set called Mindscape Fall. It's right here. And the camera doesn't want you to have it, apparently. Mindscape Fall. There it is. If you're looking for that. Inkadinka-Doo. And we're going to use this one right here that looks like a flower. But you notice that the top of the flower is actually a bird. It's actually two birds flying. That's the cool thing about these. There's like little images built right into the stamps. It's like it's the whole thing is one image, but then there's a bunch of other little images into it. So I'm going to try to use the Versamark. I could do it in Stays On. That way I know it's going to be black. But let's just try the Versamark and see what happens. Because I just want to see, and I want you guys to see. I think we may have linked Mindscape Fall in the bottom too. Oh no, my Inkadinka-Doo thank you stamp was one that dissolved to mush in storage. Be ready and stamp it down and hold it and then let it cool. And if you're a little confused about what I'm doing, go ahead and look in the live chat section and follow along Tracy Myers as she repeats most of the steps that I'm doing. This will be the last thing that we do then, because it's 6 o'clock, so I'm kind of cutting it short. All right. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? I could have done it in Stays On. Maybe I'll go over it again. Oh, That's so pretty. Where's the other one so I can pull that out so you can see the difference? Way cool. So many options that you guys can do with UTEE. These were just 2 that we did today. Plus I threw in a lot of tips and information for those of you guys who may have not even tried it yet or didn't know about it. Oh, look, and I've got more stuff here, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop that up as well. Alrighty. I'm going to use my little purple monster here to get up the rest of those little things that I just dumped again. And then I'm going to say a lovely goodbye so that we can move on. So if you are a patron, meet me over at the Patreon private. Yes, totally. You can do, I had another whole thing I was going to do and do rub and buff and stuff over the top of it and that type of a thing. We just ran out of time. But give us a big thumbs up if you enjoy this type of video and you like the Free Play Fridays. We will see you over at the private group if you're a Patreon. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at the online garage sale starting at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bring your friends. Don't forget to read our blog and check out qualitycrafts.com because I can't wait to see you guys next video.